Are you in a situation with an elderly parent or a spouse that is over controlling, abusive, or isolating? Many family caregiving situations can go bad, and families worry about this because they feel powerless to help an elderly parent or a spouse. In the past few weeks, I've gotten calls from people all over the United States about abusive care situations. So today I thought I would do the caregiving chat of the day to talk to you about how to be proactive and manage family care situations that have gone bad. I'm Pamela D Wilson. My website is PamelaDWilson.com. There's an article on my website which is linked into this video post called Overbearing or Bearing Caregiver, What to Do. Let's talk about some situations. There are some situations where either your mom or dad or your brother or sister may be involved as a caregiver. They may be isolating your parent or mom or dad to the point that you can't just drop in and visit. You can't call without them listening on the telephone. They won't let you take mom or dad out. These situations happen for a number of reasons. Sometimes your brother or sister or mom or dad may be financially dependent on the person they are caring for their livelihood. How many of us have brothers or sisters who never got it right during their lifetime? Maybe they still can't hold down a job at the age of 50. Maybe they're involved in drugs or other abusive situations. They just have never seemed to grown up and gone out on their own. Now, sometimes this happens because our parents feel sorry for one of our brothers or sisters. And our parents, in a sense, support this helpless behavior by our brother or sister by allowing them to live in the family home, by your parents financially supporting a brother or a sister. If this is the situation in your family, and it hasn't yet advanced to the point where your parents need care, it's time to have serious conversations about the effect of this on the lives of your parents later in life when they need help or when they need care. There are other situations where there is a diagnosis of memory loss, dementia or Alzheimer's, and the primary caregiver is so controlling and so upset because your mom or dad can't remember information. They have behaviors, and the caregiver doesn't understand what these behaviors are, and the behavior of the caregiver actually upsets your mom or dad worse because the caregiver is so out of control. These situations are truly abusive, and they're not in the best interests of your parent or your spouse. So what do? A lot of family members are scared to death to do anything because their brother or sister is a formidable opponent. That brother or sister, or mom or dad, who is dependent, is fiercely dependent and worried about where they would live, how they would have money to live if they are not living in that family home or if they're not attached to the person that they're caring for. There are some times when legal intervention is the only way around this. For over 20 years, I was a care manager, but I also served as a court-appointed guardian, a conservator in some cases, and in many cases, a medical and a financial power of attorney for many people, even married couples. You might think this is strange. It's not because of these family situations that go bad. It's not because of elderly parents who don't trust their children, whose children are not financially reliable, who they do not believe will follow their directions for their care when they need care. There are a lot of family situations out there that just are not workable. And there's no reason to be embarrassed about it because it is so common. I would have children come into my office and say, "Oh, Pamela, you are never going to believe this," or "We are so embarrassed that our family doesn't get along." Nothing to be embarrassed about. It happens all the time because when we leave the home and we grow up, we may not have gotten along with our brothers or sisters, and sometimes not even always gotten along with our aging parents. I've been involved in situations where a daughter was so dependent on a mother that I, as the guardian, had to petition the court to move the parent out of the home. And then still, I had to supervise visits at an assisted living community because the daughter, who had financial issues and drug issues, would show up asking for money and pleading for help. These situations happen. I've been in other situations for married couples where the couple didn't trust the children and didn't want the children to be the guardian, or the husband or wife was so abusive of the other spouse that I had to intervene and care. I may look like a very sweet and kind person, and I am, but when it comes to the legal responsibility of taking care of someone who is abused, I will do whatever it takes to make sure that that doesn't happen. As a family member, as an adult child, as a spouse, that is also your responsibility. You may worry about how are we going to pay for the legal costs. That is a concern for many families. But did you know that there are some attorneys that will do pro bono work, which means they will accept a case and not charge you? They're not easy to find, but they are out there. The biggest recommendation that I have for you in these situations is not to let them go on. Do not let your elderly parent or your spouse suffer abuse from a family caregiver who is overbearing, over-controlling, and who tries to isolate them. Look for an attorney, an elder law attorney, a probate attorney, an estate planning attorney who has experience in litigation, who has experience being a trial lawyer. Don't hire a family attorney. Don't hire somebody else. They are not going to be able to help you. You may also get into battles with the medical system and hospitals, because if you are a guardian or a conservator appointed by the court, the medical system looks at incapacity or the inability to make medical decisions very differently from the probate court. The medical system may tell you that you don't have power to do the things that you do have power to do granted by the court. You may have to hire an attorney to talk to a hospital or a medical provider if they won't listen to you. It's a huge gap in the system because the medical system operates on totally different standards than the legal system, and they don't understand what a guardian is, what a conservator is, what a medical power of attorney or a financial power of attorney is, or what your legal responsibilities are. In my 20 years as a professional fiduciary, I have many times had to argue with doctors and hospital staff and explain to them my legal responsibility to my client to get the best care possible and to advocate for what my client wanted instead of what the doctor thought was best or the medical system thought was best. Because I knew more about my client than they did. You know more about your family member than anyone else does. Don't be afraid. Don't allow abuse to happen in your family. Stand up and take action. I'm Pamela D Wilson. My website is PamelaDWilson.com. There is so much helpful information there for caregivers, my videos, my online library, my courses, the Caring Generation radio show that I do every Wednesday night. The podcasts are all there. Go to the media tab, scroll down, look for the Caring Generation, and you can find that information. I also have a group on Facebook for family members called the Caregiving Trap. You're welcome to join that. I hope you found this information valuable. I will see you tomorrow in another video. Have a fabulous day today.